All right, let's jump right in.
Okay.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into Novo Nordisk.
Sounds good.
We've got this really interesting articles from the Motley Fool.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually pretty recent, from February 14th, 2025.
Okay.
It's called Novo Nordisk Beat Expectations in Q4, and a huge catalyst could be coming soon.
I see. So,
They're obviously, as you know, a huge player in the whole GLP-1 weight loss drug market,
right.
which is like exploding right now.
It really is, yeah.
And of course, they're competing with Eli Lilly.
Of course, of course.
But this article really makes you wonder if they've got a secret weapon.
A secret weapon.
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So, right off the bat, this article highlights just how well Novo Nordisk did in Q4 of 2024.
Yeah, how'd they do?
Their sales went up by a crazy 30%.
Wow.
Like, we're talking $12 billion.
$12 billion, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's impressive.
And it's not just sales that jumped.
Yeah.
Their profits increased even more, by 29%.
So they actually exceeded those predictions then?
Oh, yeah. Totally blew past analyst expectations.
Well, that's always a good sign.
Yeah. Definitely suggests they're in a really good position.
Right.
But the big question is, what's fueling this success?
Exactly. What is driving these numbers?
The article points to Wegovy,
Wegovy.
their GLP-1 weight loss drug.
Right, right.
Sales for that more than doubled.
I mean, it seems like everybody's talking about these weight loss drugs right now.
Yeah, it's definitely the hot topic.
And for good reason.
I mean, they're not just hype.
No, not at all.
GLP-1 drugs actually work, you know?
Yeah, they actually do.
They mimic this hormone that basically helps control your appetite.
So it's not just another fad diet pill.
Exactly. It's like a whole new way of managing your weight.
And that's why it's attracting so much attention.
Yeah, from patient and investors alike.
I mean, it's big news.
So here's the thing.
What's that?
Novo Nordisk is actually predicting that their growth will slow down a bit in 2025.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like sales growth between 16 and 24%,
Okay.
and operating profit growth between 19 and 27%.
Those are still really good numbers, though, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
it makes you wonder why the slowdown after such a blockbuster quarter.
yeah, good point.
I mean, they must be anticipating something.
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
They're going from making a certain amount of Wegovy
Right.
to potentially needing way more, maybe even double.
So it's not like they can just snap their fingers and make it happen.
Exactly.
It takes time.
Definitely.
Resources, they probably need to expand production lines.
Maybe even build new facilities.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then their staffing.
Training, logistics, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, a huge undertaking.
Absolutely.
So maybe they're being smart,
How so?
choosing to build a system that can handle the demand.
Instead of just chasing those quick profits.
Exactly. It's a long-term strategy.
Very smart one, if you ask me.
It's like they're building a stronger foundation.
Yeah, like reinforcing the house before the party gets too big.
I like that analogy.
Thanks.
But let's not forget,
What's that?
they're not alone in this.
Right.
This is like a two-horse race.
Oh, two.
Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly.
And the competition is fierce.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's interesting, though, because
Yeah.
over the past year, Eli Lilly's stock soared by over 17%.
While Novo Nordisk actually dipped by over 30%.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It is, so it makes you wonder if Novo Nordisk is starting to lose ground.
Well, it's easy to get caught up in those short-term stock fluctuations.
True.
But remember, Novo Nordisk still has very strong fundamentals.
So it's important to look beyond just the stock price.
Absolutely. You got to look at a bigger picture.
Their history, their financial stability, their overall strategy.
Exactly.
And that brings us to this potential game changer the article mentions.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
An oral GLP-1 weight loss pill.
An oral pill.
Yeah.
So no more injections.
Exactly. They're trying to develop a pill that could do the same thing as the injections.
That's brilliant.
Right.
I mean, everyone knows popping a pill is way easier than dealing with needles.
It's so much easier.
That could really change the game.
It would open up the market to so many more people.
People who are maybe hesitant about injections.
Or just find them inconvenient.
Exactly.
And of course, they're in a race with Eli Lilly on this one.
They are.
Oh, yeah. Eli Lilly's working on an oral GLP-1 pill, too.
It seems like everyone's trying to get a piece of the pie.
Well, it's a pretty big pie.
Makes sense.
So it's interesting. The article actually quotes Novo Nordisk's CEO,
Who's that?
Lars Frugaard Jørgensen.
Okay.
He expects to file for U.S. regulatory approval in the next few months.
Wow, so soon.
Yeah, and a potential launch could happen as early as 2026.
So we might be seeing this pill on the market pretty soon.
It's definitely on the horizon.
Well, if they manage to win this race,
Yeah.
it could be a real turning point for Novo Nordisk.
I mean, imagine a world where managing weight is as simple as taking a daily pill.
It's almost mind-blowing.
Yeah, the implications are massive.
Not just for the company, but for public health in general.
Absolutely.
It's pretty exciting.
It really is.
So what's the verdict?
Yeah, the big question, is Novo Nordisk a buy?
It's a good question.
Well, we've seen they've got a lot going for them.
Yeah, they've had a phenomenal Q4 performance.
They're clearly thinking strategically about their growth.
And they're not afraid to innovate,
Definitely not.
Which is always a good sign.
It suggests they're a company that's looking ahead,
Exactly.
not just trying to cash in on the current trends.
That's what you want to see.
It's all about building momentum.
And positioning themselves for future growth.
Right, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Impressive performance, strategic growth, and this potentially groundbreaking oral pill.
It's fascinating how it all comes together.
It is, but there's still a lot more to unpack.
I agree.
So stay tuned for part 2.
Can't wait.
We'll be back with a deeper look at this market
Looking forward to it.
and all the implications of these advancements.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we're back.
Back for more.
We're still in the world of Novo Nordisk.
Still diving deep.
In part 1, we really focused on the positives,
Yeah, the potential upside.
like those amazing sales numbers,
Uh-huh.
their smart growth strategies,
Right.
and of course that game-changing oral pill.
Right.
But we got to be real here.
About.
No investment is without its risks,
Very true.
and no drug is a magic bullet.
Especially when we're talking about weight loss.
It's tricky.
Definitely.
There's always that risk.
Ah.
Well, misuse, things getting out of hand.
Oh, yeah, that's a big concern.
I mean, it's great that these drugs can help people who really need them.
Right, people with actual health concerns.
Exactly, but there's also that temptation.
To use them as a quick fix.
Yeah, for purely cosmetic reasons.
Which can be dangerous.
Definitely. So education is key here,
Absolutely.
both for doctors
Who are prescribing these medications.
and to patients.
Who are thinking about taking them.
It's like they need to know the whole story
The potential benefits.
and the potential risks.
And the limitations.
It's not a magic bullet.
No, it's one part of a bigger picture.
Like, it's got to be combined with lifestyle changes.
Diet, exercise, all that.
It's like that saying,
What's that?
a pill for every ill.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just rely on medication to solve everything.
It's about taking a holistic approach.
Exactly.
But there's also
Yeah?
another layer to this.
What do you mean?
Think about the potential consequences.
Oh, on a bigger scale.
Exactly.
Like what? Okay, so imagine these drugs become super popular.
Which seems pretty likely.
Right, so demand skyrockets.
But supply might not keep up.
Exactly, we could see shortages.
Or even price hikes.
It's something to consider.
But you know what?
What?
This makes Novo Nordisk's decision to slow down their growth even smarter.
Yeah, how so? Well, they're basically anticipating that surge in demand
And trying to stay ahead of it.
by ramping up their manufacturing.
They're thinking long term.
Exactly, they're building a system that can actually handle it.
Instead of just trying to cash in quickly.
It's like they're playing chess, not checkers.
I like that.
Okay, so we've talked about potential misuse, supply issues,
Uh-huh.
but what about the long-term effects?
Ah, yes, the long game.
The article didn't really go there.
Well, it's important to acknowledge
Yeah.
we just don't have a lot of long-term data yet on these GLP-1 drugs.
Oh, so we don't know the full story yet.
Not really. We need more research.
To really understand what happens with prolonged use?
Exactly.
But isn't that where the FDA comes in?
Oh, absolutely. They're crucial.
So they make sure the drugs are safe and effective
Right. They rigorously test everything.
before they give it the green light.
They weigh the benefits against the risks.
So it's all about responsible innovation,
Exactly. Proceeding with caution.
while still recognizing the potential,
It's a balance.
for sure,
Now, the article makes it sound like it's a head-to-head race.
between Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly.
Right, but is it really that simple?
Well, they are the two big players.
Yeah, in the GLP-1 market.
But, the pharmaceutical industry,
Always changing.
so fast-moving.
There could be a new player tomorrow.
Or even existing companies coming up with something completely new.
Who knows what the future holds?
It's kind of exciting, right?
In a way, yeah.
But it also means
Well,
you got to be prepared for anything,
as an investor, that's key.
especially in this field.
Diversification is your friend.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
No matter how promising it seems.
Okay, so let's circle back.
So,
That potential game changer.
the oral pill?
Imagine if they actually pull it off.
Oh, it would be huge.
Could be huge.
A daily pill instead of weekly injections.
That would be a big deal for so many people.
Absolutely.
And think about patient adherence.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
It's so much easier to remember to take a pill every day.
Then to schedule those injections.
It could really improve outcomes.
For sure.
But we're not just talking about individual patients.
Right.
This could have a ripple effect.
Throughout the whole healthcare system.
Imagine if obesity rates started to decline,
Fewer weight-related health problems.
like diabetes and heart disease.
People feeling more in control of their health.
It's a pretty amazing thought.
It's like a paradigm shift.
A whole new way of thinking about weight and health.
It's not just a new drug.
It's a potential solution to a major problem.
That's what makes it so compelling.
Okay, so we got these big ideas,
Uh-huh.
but let's not forget the here and now.
What do you mean?
That strong Q4 performance.
Right, those numbers were impressive.
30% sales growth, 29% profit jump.
That's a company that knows how to execute.
They're definitely on the rise.
It seems like it.
But there's that saying,
What's saying?
past performance is not indicative of future results.
Oh, yeah, that's always true.
You can't just assume they'll keep doing this well.
Especially in a field like this.
It's constantly changing.
full of surprises.
So, as an investor,
Yeah.
how do you balance those two things?
What two things?
a company's track record,
Uh-huh.
versus all the uncertainty of that future.
It's about finding the right balance.
So how do you do that?
Well, you look at the past
Okay.
to understand their strengths and weaknesses.
Their strategies, their management team.
But you also look ahead.
Right. Assess the market.
The competition, the challenges, the opportunities.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is, but that's how you make informed decisions.
Okay, so we've talked about potential risks,
Uh-huh.
long-term unknowns,
Yeah.
the competitive landscape,
Right.
and the possibilities of this oral pill.
It's a lot to consider.
But it all comes back to that big question.
What's that?
Is Novo Nordisk a buy?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
So what's the answer?
Well, it depends.
On what?
Your risk tolerance, your investment goals.
And how you interpret all this information.
We're giving you the tools.
To make your own decision.
Not financial advice, of course.
We're just trying to help to think critically.
Become an informed investor.
And that's the perfect place to wrap up this part.
Sounds good.
We'll be back for the final part.
Okay.
We'll talk about how you can keep exploring this world.
The fascinating world of pharmaceuticals.
Okay, so we're back.
Back for the final part.
We've covered a lot of ground with Novo Nordisk.
We have.
Their performance, their strategies, those GLP-1 drugs.
Right, the potential, the risks.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
But this is really just the beginning.
How so?
Well, we've given you the highlights, the key insights.
A taste of what's out there.
But now it's your turn.
To what?
To dig deeper.
Explore
further.
Make this knowledge your own.
Exactly.
So where do we begin?
Well, the Motley Fool article is a good starting point.
Right, it gives you that overview.
But don't stop there.
No.
You need to broaden your horizon.
Okay, so what else?
Look for other articles, research papers, analyst reports.
I see, get different perspectives.
Exactly. There's a whole world of information out there.
Just waiting to be discovered.
And as you're doing all this research,
Yeah.
remember to think critically.
About.
Don't just accept everything you read at face value.
Right, question everything.
Who wrote this? What's their agenda? Are there any biases?
Good points to consider.
And for those of you who are maybe thinking about investing in Novo Nordisk,
Mm-hmm.
or just want to learn more about how to analyze a company,
Okay.
there are some really helpful resources out there.
Like what?
Well, start with Novo Nordisk's own website.
Their investor relations section?
They've got tons of information there,
Financials, presentations, all that.
straight from the source.
That's always a good place to start.
You can also check out financial news websites,
Like,
Bloomberg, Reuters, The Motley Fool.
oh yeah, they're good.
They provide a ton of data and analysis.
And if you're really serious about investing,
Yeah.
you could subscribe to an investment research service.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
They can give you in-depth reports, stock recommendations.
Even connect you with expert analysts.
It's like having a personal tutor for your investments.
But remember, no investment is without risk.
That's true.
So always do your research.
Diversify your portfolio.
And never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Sound advice.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, shoot.
We've talked about the potential of these GLP-1 drugs.
Right, especially that oral pill.
But what if we zoom out for a second?
Okay.
What could this mean for society as a whole?
That's a big question.
It is, but it's important.
I agree.
Imagine a world where obesity rates plummet.
Wow.
Weight-related health problems become less common.
It's a hopeful vision.
It is, but it also raises a lot of questions.
Like what?
How do we ensure access for everyone?
Regardless of income or background.
How do we navigate issues around body image?
And societal pressures.
How do we make sure people understand
Yeah.
that medication is just one piece of the puzzle?
Right. Lifestyle changes are still crucial.
It's complex.
It is.
It's multifaceted.
But it's a conversation we need to have.
Absolutely. Scientific advancements always come with social and ethical considerations.
That's what makes it so fascinating.
There's the science, the business, the individual impact.
And the broader societal implications.
So stay curious. Keep those critical thinking skills
Keep
sharp.
digging deeper.
That's what these deep dives are all about.
Well said.
It's been great diving into this with you.
Likewise.
And a huge thanks to you, our listener,
Joining us.
for this deep dive into Novo Nordisk.
Until next time, keep seeking knowledge and keep diving deep.